Good morning or good afternoon, depending upon what part of the country you are in. This is Ernie Meyer with the Ernie Meyer Talk Show and the interview show. And we're here today with Natalie King, who's all the way from UK, across the pond, as we say. Anyhow, I'm being here in Colorado and she's in UK. This wonderful technology is beautiful. I want to remind you that if you like anything that you hear on here, please stay to the end. Natalie and I both have a free offer that's worth a lot of money to you if you care to take it up, either or both of our offers. So please stick around to the end and we will announce that, as well as what I want to talk about a little bit is my eFit gym program. And a lot of people spend thousands of dollars on gyms and different things, and they're good views and good toys and good exercise equipment. But how would you like to have something that takes a 2-foot square and is less than $200? And I'll give you $20 off if you put in a coupon. That'll be in the comments below. So you can go down there and take a look at that and get involved in something like that. And, you know, if you have a small apartment or what have you. So further ado, what I want to do is introduce Natalie King, and she has some amazing things to share with you. Good afternoon, Natalie, as you are in the afternoon. I'm here in the morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon or good morning in your case. Thank you so much, Ernie, for having me here as part of your show. I really appreciate it. And it's great to get to speak to you today.
Thank you. It's wonderful for you to be here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you were involved in and what you currently do.
Well, as Ernie mentioned, I'm living in the UK. I have been here for 21 years, but originally I was born in Africa and grew up in South Africa. But as I mentioned, I've been in the UK for 21 years, and I'm in a county called Suffolk, which when you look at a map of the UK, it's that little bit that sticks out, the bum bit. And that's where I'm in a county called Suffolk, and it's in an area called East Anglia. And I'm not that far away from London. So it's a good hop on the train, commute to London if I ever decide to go there. So that's where I'm living and from. What I'm currently doing is I'm a confidence coach. And what that entails is helping people or business owners to really connect with that inner superhero. Everybody has a superhero. Whether you think you do or don't, everybody has that superhero in them. And I help them to connect with their own superpower of confidence. As I mentioned, it's there and people can connect to it. Just look at all the superhero movies that we have. They didn't know that they had that superpower, and bam, they got it. So it's the same. I just help small business owners to reconnect with their confidence. And it's something that I fell into, should I say. It wasn't, what are you going to be when you grow up? Oh, I'm going to be a confidence coach. No, it didn't happen that way. It is something that I've been led to or guided to or pushed into, because I wasn't very confident. I was confident as a child. And then as I went to school and went to college and started getting jobs, I lost my confidence through to bullying throughout my teenage years, adult years. And that just slowly pecks away at your confidence. And if you don't grow it, you lose it, which I did. I lost it. And I became very insular. And I didn't like to meet people. I didn't like to do anything. And I doubted everything. And I just thought, I'm not worth anything. And this is something that I lived with for many years, until one day that proverbial straw broke this camel's back. I had a job that I thought was going to be for life. It was an easy job. It was good money, but the bullying was horrendous. And I had my first panic attack. I've never had a panic attack before. I don't wish panic attacks on anybody, especially if you're driving a car down a highway at 70 miles an hour.
Mhm.
I don't recommend it.
Yes.
This is what happened. And I realized that something had to change because I didn't want to put anybody in harm's way. I don't know how I got to work. It's a total blank. I just remember going down the highway and I remember being at work. There's 20 minutes drive in that. I don't know how I got to work. And I handed in my notice because I realized that something had to change. But I didn't know what to do or anything. And I actually found, as I mentioned earlier, getting to confidence was something that I had to learn. I didn't know that it was a lack of confidence that was stopping me, and that if I helped myself with confidence, I could grow. I didn't know that. I just knew I had to leave my job and become self-employed because I realized I'd hit a point in my life where I was just going to go from one job to another and just have the same experiences. And I was going to get nowhere. So that's what I did. I quit my job. And I thought, now what do I do? So I did start one business and I realized that I had to talk to people. Well, if you have no confidence, how do you talk to people? So 8.5 years ago, if you said to me, I was going to be talking to you guys in America from the UK, having on Zoom, I would have most probably hit you and told you you were a liar. So 8.5 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. But what I did is I realized I needed to learn to speak to people. So that was step one, learn to speak to people. And I joined a speaking organization. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's big in America. It actually started in America, called Toastmasters International. It started, if I remember correctly, in California, and it started in 1926 through helping young men from the YMCA to get jobs through after the Depression. So helping them have interview skills to be able to get work, to find jobs. So that's how it started. And it's in 190 countries. So it's become a global organization.
Yeah.
I joined them to learn to speak to people. Public speaking is one of the most scariest things in the world. It's one of the highest rates of fear, of phobias. Like I said, I was pushed in some things. So I learned to speak to people. But it took me a long time to get comfortable. It took me a long time to find the joy in doing what I'm doing now. But what it also taught me is it slowly started to get me on a confidence journey. But I still didn't know that that was what I was on. I'm a slow learner sometimes. It takes a while for the penny to drop in my head. So what I did is I then got comfortable or started to learn to speak, and I started to realize I'm actually enjoying speaking at my clubs and going to different clubs and speaking. What is that is enabling me to do it? I know public speaking is a skill, but there was more to it. And I started to look deeper into it, and I realized that it was confidence. But what is confidence? What is this weird thing called confidence? You know, the superheroes have it. You know, you look around and I think, oh, well, everybody else is confident. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be confident? And I took it as a subject, as to really learn what it is. How can it help us? Why do some people have it and some people don't? Why do some people seem to have it and yet they don't? And can you have it if you've never had it? So all of these things I started to really learn and try to understand. And I started to study what confidence was. And through that, I created a business on public speaking with confidence. And then we had this little thing, I don't know if you've heard of it, called the pandemic and COVID. You know, this little thing that turned the world upside down and on its head. And this made my business just went, because I was face to face with everything. And I chose not to just convert it online. I didn't want to just, as in the UK, we said pivot online. It wasn't a choice I wanted to do. So I started to think, okay, how can I help people find their confidence again? And what can I be doing? And how can I learn more about confidence? And I started to look at how the brain works and just different ways. And this is where I created the business that I'm doing now. I do some public speaking, and I help business owners with public speaking, because if you're a business owner, chances are you need to go networking.
Yep.
You have to stand up, and whether you go face to face or online, you still got to give your pitch, your elevator pitch, your 40 seconds or 60 seconds or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is. That's public speaking. So I still help with that. I still bring in the public speaking. But my passion is helping those business owners who are really skilled in what they do, but don't have the confidence to say, I'm your person. I'm good at what I do. I know what I'm doing. You need me. And this is where I come in.
This is wonderful. You know, Natalie, a lot of what you're saying parallels my story as well. And I became involved in Toastmasters after I quit corporate America. And I had already spoken and taught many people in corporate America. And I missed it. I actually missed being a public speaker, and I wanted to do that. And I took my wife along, and she was so shy, she wouldn't even talk to herself. And after being in Toastmasters a while, she was able and ready to get up there, and she commands what she does in life, which is great. And I really enjoyed that. So I want to remind the audience that you're listening to Natalie King in the UK. And I know where the Suffolk County is, even though I have never been to the UK. I'd like to go there when ABBA does their, because I'm an ABBA
reunion.
fan. I just am crazy for ABBA. And one thing that I will tell the public, please stay tuned to us, because we are going to offer some free information and free gifts at the end of this particular podcast. So make sure that you are staying online. And if you do like what you see and hear, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And I will be opening up a new channel in about a week and a half. And again, you know, you can look at my eFit gym or whatever you like, but basically we're here to give you information. And that's what it's like. And that's where it's at. If you have the power, which most of you do, and you live in a country that allows you to have that power and do things, then do it. I saw a 10-year-old girl give a speech, and she was so convincing that she said, you want to go skydiving this Sunday? Just do it. And I'm afraid of heights, and I was ready to go skydiving because this little girl, 10 years old, now if she can do it, she hasn't been corrupt yet with everybody else saying that, oh, you'll never amount to anything, you'll never do good. Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. And I have some roadblocks in my life, but today, this is around Natalie. So we're going to talk to her a little bit more. Natalie, what else would you like to tell the audience today?
Well, I love that advice that 10-year-old girl gave. Just, you want to go skydiving? Just do it. That is such powerful advice. Is how often as kids we would just do it. I mean, I used to climb trees. I had no fear as a child. I'd go up to any dog. I'd just pat the dog on the head. I was fearless. But then, as you mentioned, you told, well, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, don't do that. Oh, that's dangerous. And you are stopped from doing things. And you start to build this fear around, I shouldn't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough for that, or no, you can't do that because you're a girl, girls don't do things like that, or whatever it is. You're told what you can't do, and you constantly told what you can't do, shouldn't do, and mustn't do, which means you then start to limit yourself, because you start to second guess yourself. And this is one of the things that can really stop us from living the fullest life that we can live. How many people do you know that just get up in the mornings, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up in the mornings, and they live like automatons, and they'll do this for the rest of their lives. They have no ambition, they have no desire, they stop themselves from doing anything. But yet they have potential. Every human has potential and has a purpose. But if we stop ourselves from living that purpose, what's the point? Why do we stop ourselves? I know a lot of people who are amazing, but they stop themselves doing anything. They just have that job that they secure in, and they will hang on to that job until they retire, and then they will just have a couple of walks when they retire, and that's it. Life is so much more, and we've been shown that through this pandemic, through COVID, through all this hassles or stress or lockdowns. The experiences that we've had have shown us that there's so much more potential, there's so much more possibilities, but it's up to us to grab them.
I agree with you.
Easier said than done.
You know, there are so many people, and audience, you're listening. There are people out there right now that are listening to this that will be able to solve certain problems that we have. And you have the ability to do that. And I like to tell this one story about myself. And it comes when I was in corporate America, and I was actually teaching statistics. And you would think, oh man, this analytical guy, how can he teach statistics? That's boring. Not the way I taught it. I've got a sense of humor. And I would bring people into class, and they'd sit down, and we're going to talk about statistics, and they've got this blank stare on their face. And I tell them that the measurement of the statistics and the bell curve is measured in a standard deviation. And that's not to be confused with the standard deviate. That would be me. And everybody laugh, and they have a good time. And they knew that I was going to throw some humor into a boring subject. And that's what you have to do, is be a little creative. And I'm the only engineer, I thought, who had a sense of humor, until I had a guy who worked for me who had a wit 10 times faster than me. And I was like, where do you come up with this, Neil? I thought I was great. And here you are, an engineer 10 times faster than I am with coming out with different things. So it doesn't matter what you do, what your background is. I give examples of people that have been in prison that have made a difference in their life. And you can too. It doesn't matter what you came from, what you have. If you, as Natalie says, find your superpower, or find your passion, or find your vision, act on it. Act on it. And I'm going to say something that T. Harv Eckert always says: don't believe a word I'm saying, because what we say comes from us. You develop your life from what comes from you. And believe everything that you are told that makes you good and great, instead of listening to other people that'll just cut you down to their size. You can listen to somebody if they're a multimillionaire or what have you, but if somebody is broke and not knowing what they want,
money advice from somebody who's broke.
Yeah, don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. Natalie, are there any final words, or what would you like to offer the audience?
Oh, final words. This is always tricky ones. I just want to say that one thing that I have learned over the last 8 years, and this is something that reminds me, is everybody, and as you said, regardless of where you come from, regardless of the experiences you've had, you are worth it. And it's about believing that you're worth it. It's about believing that what you have to offer the world is valuable. Because it might not be valuable to everybody, but it's valuable to somebody. And that is where your power is finding those people who need what you have and sharing it with them. Whether it's a skill, whether it's knowledge, whether it's a story, it doesn't matter what it is, but it's knowing that you have value to people out there. And this is very important. And it's part of growing your confidence and building your confidence is about valuing yourself and knowing that what you have is worth sharing. And it's finding those people. Like I said, it could be anything. It could be your story. It could be your experience. It could be a skill that you have. Being a statistics guy is not for everybody, because not everybody wants to know statistics. Look at that. I can't even pronounce the word.
Well, it's easy for you to say.
It's of value to somebody. And this is what, as people come up to me and say, yeah, but I don't have anything of value. I've never done anything. I'm like, well, you've lived an X amount of years. What are your experiences? What have you learned? You've picked up skills. You might not think that they are worth anything because it's just you, but everything that you have is worth it to somebody else. And it's about sharing it. It's about communicating. It's about showing your value or your light. And this is where your power comes in, is really knowing that you are part of this world that we live in, and you are part of something bigger. So step into it and share it and speak and talk to people and find what it is, how you can help, whether it's your community, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's in the job that you have. It's find your power, find your purpose, find your vision, whatever words you want to use,
right,
and share them, because there's somebody out there that needs what you've got.
Amen to that. That's very true. Natalie, you mentioned in the beginning before we went live that you wanted to give something back to the audience.